Alright, y'all, I got some new gear. So I'm gonna be pulling a vacuum with the field piece. This is an ACFM full stage. It's the VR87. This is like a 5-ton, 8-ton unit. This is my go-to. That's the go-to vacuum gauge right there. If you can get one of these, you're in good shape. Here's why. So this is the vacuum unit. I've had it for about 18 years now. But your sensor, you got a detachable sensor. So the sensor is like 70 bucks. The only thing that really will go wrong with it is usually the sensor. So if I need to replace it, I just buy a new sensor. Whereas this one, if I need to replace it, I gotta buy the whole thing. Spend about 200 to 150 bucks. Same with this one here, or if you get the digital Bluetooth one. See, this one is gone. So there's no replacing sensor in that. I gotta get the whole vacuum gauge. Cost me about 200 bucks. 200 versus 60. This is a new sensor. Other thing about this, usually you can clean your sensors. So these sensors are a little harder to clean because it's incorporated in the vacuum gauge, whereas this sensor is not incorporated in the readout and gauge unit itself, so it's a little easier cleanup process. You just get some denatured alcohol or some isopropyl alcohol and clean those sensors. But here we are, 1400, and this one coming off the pump. So there's my vacuum pump there. That's coming right off the pump, and it's reading 2000. I've noticed it's usually, you know, a little bit off compared to my Yellow Jacket, which that sensor's brand new, so I'm gauging everything else against it. Now once I get to around 600 microns, they get relatively close. So then I'll be a lot closer in my reading with the two of them once I get to around 600 microns. So around 500, the difference is very minimal. And that's because this sensor uses a temperature. So it incorporates the temperature with the vacuum. So that pressure temperature relationship, this is taken into consideration, while this one is not. Now if this one was working, they would probably be closer to each other. That one is just all over the place. So I'm thinking it's probably a Dundada. It's just doing all kind of stuff right now. But I had this one for about 8 years, working good for 8 years. It fell out my bag and was overnight in some grass for a couple of days, and that's why it's doing this now more than likely. The last time I used it, it was doing pretty good, but now it's over. It laid outside in the grass for 2 days, and it's a Dundada. But this is the new gear I wanted to talk about. So Just Better has come out with a new valve core removal tool. This is the valve core removal, and it's got a torque, a built-in torque. So as you twist that in, you don't over torque it. It sets the torque for you. Not only that, but this here now is a valve. So you can put your micron gauge on there, and when I go to fill this system up, I just push that up, it closes that off, and now I can put refrigerant in and not have to worry about losing any of the vacuum trying to remove the gauge, or adding a second valve core removal tool or some sort of tool like what I got up here. I used to keep that on it so that I could shut it and then put the my refrigerant in without damaging my micron gauge. So this right here, I like that. That just takes one tool out of, and well, I wouldn't say it takes a risk for leak out because this is a valve now, but it does take one tool out of the equation. So now I just do that to get my vacuum and I'm working again. And when I close it, that shows me how well that's holding the vacuum. So that's with the valve shut. You see the pressure coming up. I open the valve, the pressure comes back down. So I like that a lot. I'm at 900 microns on this. Now I will always go on the other side of the system, so I'm pulling from the low side and I'm getting my vacuum reading from the high side. That's usually how I do it, just to keep oil or anything from getting into your micron gauge. But yeah, this just better, man. That is my new go-to valve core removal tool and set up for pulling 500 micron vacuums. We're down to 900 on this one, so it shouldn't be long until we have our 500 micron and I'll be charging this one up. All right, y'all, I'm out.